I wanna dance by water beneath the Mexican sky, drink some margaritas by swinging blue lights, listen to the mariachi play at midnight. Are you with me? Are you with me?
Yesterday we did part of exam exactly like what we are going to do 2 days from now. That was exactly it. So it's not going to be hard. I didn't see it very hard for anybody. So everybody should do it well. Today this afternoon we practice a little bit more. We get more comfortable. Today, before we start about physical conditioning, talk about physical conditioning for volleyball, there is one slide. We must see this slide. This is very important. This is from related to yesterday's discussion, training. There are 5 common mistakes that coaches make, or some of them always make. Some coaches may make a mistake. That's okay, you know. Everybody make a mistake, you know. First one is overtraining, training too much. We think the success is geared to training. We train hard, train hard, train hard. And then we lose, we think we should train harder. And then we go to overtrain. So every time we lose, we think we are not training enough. We must train harder and more, harder and more. And then we go to overtraining. So that's not very good. Sometimes some coaches not training enough, undertrained. They spend so much time on running and physical training, but not very much in volleyball. That's not very good. Sometimes we are not undertrained, not overtrained, but we are using a wrong intensity. And when we're using a wrong intensity, when we get to the match is too heavy for us. Sometimes failure to plan a long-term training schedule. Sometimes we want to do it quick. Fast training. It doesn't answer very good, the result. Many times, failure to taper. We practice until the last moment before the match. Tapering, taper training. Yes, we talk about taper training. Means few days before the match, we start decreasing the volume, increasing the intensity. Decreasing the volume, 3 hours, no, 1 hour and a half, but match intensity. So tapering is not resting. Tapering is training, different training. That's what I call it, taper training. So last night I was looking my material. I realized I forgot to talk about this. This is very important. We must do everything right. Not do this, not do this, not do this. These are no good. We must do right. Everything right. But everything right always is hard. We make mistake. Everybody make mistake. But those who are more successful make less mistake. We want to make less mistakes and reach to the point we do not want to make any mistakes. That's very good. It requires experience, work, and work. So this is over. We're going to physical training for volleyball. After we talk about physical training for volleyball, I have an exercise with towel. Years back, I wrote an article called the towel exercises for volleyball. Towel exercises for volleyball. 5 exercises. We do it here, and you see it is the best for youngsters, because national team player cannot do it. We must apply for youngsters. They learn to do it. Towel exercise. But we go to physical exercise. Physical exercise, conditioning. When we do conditioning, we're looking for 2 things only. Muscle and energy. Energy system and muscle. All the conditioning, running, treadmill, bicycling, cross training, weight room, all we do is for 2 things. Good muscle, good energy system. But remember, energy system is in here, so we're looking for 1 thing, good muscle. Conditioning means 1 thing, good muscle. Good muscle for volleyball, good muscle for soccer, good muscle for fencing, good muscle for swimming, good muscle for 100 meters, good muscle for marathoners. So all this activity we do, all this material we read, all this discussion we participate is for 1 thing, muscle, muscle. Muscle. Who has good? Anybody has a good muscle? No problem. Good muscle for volleyball. Good muscle for 100 meter swimming. Good muscle for marathon. So, but it's hard. So much idea. We are 30 people here, 30 ideas. Some maybe close to each other, but why so many ideas? Because from different places, different experience, different universities, different area. But we talk. First we talk about energy system in volleyball. And then we talk about muscle, and we have a PowerPoint here about the muscle. Maybe something new to you. First of all, before I forget, everybody needs these. You come to me, it's all yours. It's not even PDF. You can do changes you want. Some people believe strongly in PDF. No, I read for the we have 3 energy systems. Only 3. Even at rest, work, wherever. Wherever we are, only 3 energy system makes our life. Phosphogen energy system, very quick energy. Very quick. But very little. Do we need this one for volleyball? Very much. Very much for volleyball. Phosphogen. We have, I show you some of the rally takes about less than 2 seconds in volleyball. 2 seconds. Jump serve. Second system, glycolytic energy system, is a little bit longer. Do we need this one for volleyball? Yeah, we need this one for volleyball. The slide I showed the other day, all the rallies in volleyball are here. Less than 6 seconds. There were 40 rallies in first game between Iran and United States. 40 rallies. 30 of them were here. Actually, 34 of them were here. 6 of them were here. More than 10 seconds. Less than 6 seconds. More than 6 seconds. More than 10 seconds. But the more than 10 seconds was very little. Here. The last one is oxidative energy system. That's what we're using right now. Sitting, relaxing, oxygen. Here, we don't need oxygen. Here, we don't need oxygen. Here, we need the oxygen. Right now, everybody, all of us, we're using oxidative. Easy. We're not rushing. But when we're sparking the ball, when we're serving jump ball, when we're blocking, is all here. One block here. 2 blocks here. After 2 blocks, 3, 4, 5, we go here. So, my question is, since all the volleyball is happen here and here, do we need to work on this one? Yes. We need to do it. This is, we call it VO2 max. Good volleyball player, especially the middle hitter, middle blocker, must have a high VO2 max, above 50. Good soccer player on the midfield, 60, 65, 70. Good midfielder. Marathoners, VO2 max, 75, 80. The best, the skiers, cross-country skiers, and cyclists, Tour de France, above 80, but they don't have very much muscle. That's all right. Good oxidative energy system. Very good. Zero to 6 seconds. If the duration is up to 6 seconds, very intense volleyball, spiking, blocking, force fusion. 6 seconds to 30 seconds, intense. First block, second block, third block, blocking, blocking, digging, blocking, hitting. Sometimes some of the rallies, we had the rally of 29 seconds, but happens only one. Blocking, spiking, blocking, spiking, blocking, spiking. Intense. Phosphagen, fat, glycolytic. Fast glycolytic. 30 seconds to 2 minutes, heavy, fast glycolytic. We're going to lactic acid. That doesn't happen very much in volleyball, but we have to be prepared. If happens, we take it. I do the first blocking, second blocking, third blocking, but fourth block, I can't jump anymore. The other guy from that side, he jumps, does it. 2 to 3 minutes, moderate, a slow motion, slower movement, fast glycolytic, oxidative. More than 3 minutes, light, oxidative. In volleyball, we all are here. All here. But we must have this. Very good. Because for recuperation. All volleyball is right here. These two. Intense, very intense. Very intense, intense. But good volleyball player, especially middle blocker, must have a good oxidative capacity. How we do it? Running, swimming, bicycling, treadmill, volleyball court, volleyball court. Energy system, ATP, all happens here. ATP. We need ATP. Make ATP and use it. Make ATP and use it. Quick. So, aerobic. Volleyball is anaerobic. All anaerobic, but it takes hour and a half, 2 hours, 5 games, 2 hours, hour and a half. So for hour and a half, you must have this one. So volleyball is anaerobic, but repeating. 40 times in one game. 40 times of anaerobic. So when you're working with conditioning with your team, first you have to establish this one. Good energy system. And then we go to, we can practice this. First, general preparation. General physical preparation. General physical preparation. It starts with aerobic. And then when we get the good aerobic capacity, we can work on these. Fast, many. 5, 6, 7. This is again, same thing. Some books, 1 to 4 seconds, anaerobic. 4 to 20 seconds, anaerobic. 20 to 45 seconds, anaerobic. 45 to 120 seconds, anaerobic and lactic acid. After that, aerobic, anaerobic, and then just aerobic. But again, volleyball, first two. But this is very important. This is important for these two. This is important especially for this one. So when you planning the practice with ball, we also want to practice on these two. We're using, we call it the general preparation and then a specific preparation. A specific preparation means hitting the ball, but at the same time working on this. I'm doing this. I'm trying to do this one very good, but at the same time, I'm working on these two. That's a good practice. That you have 2-3 goals in one drill. With one drill, you're reaching 3-4 goals at the same time. There is a man named Sharkey, physiologist in the United States. He says volleyball needs two things: energy, muscle, but both moderate, not big. Here moderate, why moderate? No 100% aerobic, not 100% anaerobic. We need aerobic and anaerobic. Like if we're running a marathon, and the marathoner aerobic is 90%, but aerobic in volleyball is not 90%. Anaerobic is 90% in volleyball. 85% above is anaerobic, but we need aerobic base. So that's what the Sharkey says. Volleyball needs two things: energy and muscle. Energy and muscle. But remember, I said this. This one is inside of this. The energy system is in the muscle. So everything summarized is to muscle. Good muscle, good muscle. If your player have a good muscle, you don't have any problem. All these things we do, program, weightlifting, running, nutrition, stretching, all for one thing: good muscle. Right muscle. Right muscle for volleyball. Right muscle for wrestling. Right muscle for swimmers. 100 meters. 400 meters. But it's very hard. Very hard. If we bring about 10 conditioning coach here, conditioning coach. In Iran, the conditioning coach They don't believe each other at all. If you bring 10 of them, they start fighting with each other, because he doesn't believe him, he doesn't believe him, he doesn't believe him. Nobody believes anybody. So I say that the right way. I do it the right way. Maybe there are, but different opinion, different idea. But the conditioning is an area that so much controversy. Some people, they say weight is very good, very much for weight. Some people are running. We had the conditioning coach started working with the coach Blasco. After 2 months he left. I saw him somewhere. I said, why you don't work with Velasco anymore? He said, I don't believe him. I said, why don't you believe him? He said, because I want to run, I want to make the team running. He said, running is no good. I think he doesn't know anything about conditioning. He said that about Velasco. I said, but I don't think this, what you are saying is right, because he's been in Italy for so many years. He's been very successful. He must know something. He was believing so much in running the people like a horse. But if you want to increase your VO2 max, you can do it on the court too, with ball, hitting, digging, blocking. You don't have to go run 6 kilometers every day. That's old-fashioned. That's what we used to do, running like a horse. So he left, and he never came back because Velasco didn't want him, and he brought the conditioning coach from, Argentina. A young man came. It was good, because the result was good. Result shows that they are doing right, and the Velasco background from volleyball was good. So moderate. Energy moderate means not 100% aerobic, not 100% anaerobic. But anaerobic here is very high, but we need aerobic pace. Energy demands for volleyball. Sharkey says 70% anaerobic. But I think today's volleyball, this is small. Maybe 80-85%. But that doesn't mean aerobic is not important. Aerobic is important. The importance of aerobic is here. The importance of aerobic is here. Even, this comes to 95%. This be 5%. But that doesn't mean this value is only 5%. We must work on aerobic. Don't make a mistake. We say 100%, almost 100% anaerobic. Volleyball today is almost 100% anaerobic, 100% almost. But that doesn't mean we have to eliminate this. We have to work on this one. But the way volleyball needs. Metabolic demands for volleyball. Another source. High phosphagen. Moderate anaerobic. No aerobic here. But that doesn't mean we don't need aerobic. We need aerobic. These are 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, up to here. 30 seconds here. But it doesn't mean anything. We must work on aerobic. Aerobic base is very important. Is important for these two. Especially is important for this. Another source, different source, 80%, that's correct. Very close. 80% of volleyball is under 6 seconds or under 10 seconds, is right here. Over 10 seconds, 5%. 15% oxidative. But we need this one for these two, especially for this one. Different opinion, different idea. Energy system demands in volleyball, phosphagen system and aerobic. Al Skate, he used to be the coach of UCLA. He is now with the USA national team as a consultant. He's a very big man. He was in UCLA for many years. They won several national championships. They'll call it NCAA. NCAA is a big league. He had a book, Complete Conditioning for Volleyball, 2003. But if you talk to him, he said, this doesn't mean anything. You must work on oxidative, aerobic. How are you going to work? That's up to you. Running, treadmill, cycling, cross-training, or on the volleyball court. That's your decision. That's your idea. That's your... This is very important. In volleyball, we need this one. But for reaching here, we must start from here. Maximum heart rate. We start general physical preparation. General physical preparation. With the 60% of maximum heart rate. We develop this one, aerobic, in the pre-season, starting. How much time we spend here depends your player. How much they bring with themselves. If they are very good, you get a test. You get the VO2 max test. You say everybody is good. Everybody has already this one. So we move up. We go to the court. We don't have to run anymore because all the people VO2 max is about 45, 50. So you don't have to anything to be worried about. You are very comfortable with that team, conditioning wise. An aerobic threshold, an aerobic training, and then you reach here. This is where we want to be conditioning wise. Quick. When we move up, faster, 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 but shorter, but faster. Training method for volleyball. Aerobic. A slow, continuous training. Heel. Short interval aerobic. Short interval aerobic. Short but aerobic. And then we come to anaerobic. Short interval anaerobic. Short interval aerobic, that means longer interval. Here, shorter interval, but faster interval. A speed training, quick shuttle run. So we need two things, aerobic and anaerobic. These are quick, these are slower. Slower because it's longer. Faster because it's shorter. And this is for volleyball. But again, we must have this one first. To do this one best. We must have this one enough to do this one best. This is heart rate training zone. Everybody knows this one. 65 to 75. 80 to 85%, 86 to 90%, that's a fast zone. This is very fast. Here is slower. Interval training increases speed, power, improving resistance to fatigue. This is what we need for volleyball. Resistance to fatigue. Third time jumping, fourth time jumping, fifth jumping. There was a championship, Asian Championship Youth Asian Championship in Tehran. Iran was playing Japan. Six blocks in one rally. Japanese were hitting, Iranians were walking. They dig the ball. 6 times. Dig. And Japanese were digging like a crazy, you know. That was the longest rally in that match. And Iran got this point. And that was very important because Japanese digging the coverage, beautiful coverage, close to the net and hitting very hard. And Iranian going over and the ball was going like this. 6 times they brought the ball up. Resistance to fatigue. Who gets the ball? Who doesn't get fatigue sooner? This is, we're doing every day, this one. When we're doing aerobic training, heart, good for heart. Stroke volume, heart, working good, pumping blood, oxygen. And when we're working aerobic, the capillaries start increasing, proliferating. More blood, more blood. That's good. More hemoglobin, oxygen carrying is good. That's what we need. Total quantity of blood. The pulse decrease. Decrease the resting heart rate. When we're sitting, our heart rate is 35. That's very good. 35 in a hospital is very dangerous. In a CCU, if somebody has a heart rate of 35, everybody getting crazy, you know. But there are some athletes on the streets, they have heart rate of 30 because their VO2 max is so high. That is the result of aerobic training. The cross-country skiers probably heart rate, resting heart rate of 35 in Sweden and Finland and Norway and Denmark. An Hungarian scientist years back, I had his book on conditioning, physical conditioning. Again, adaptation. Everything is good. Respiratory adaptation to aerobic, good. Cardiovascular is good. Musculoskeletal system, all good. We need a good base of aerobic because we need it on the court. Fifth game is a conditioning game. Who's got more strength on the court? Fifth game. All you have experience. When our body gets weak, we get scared a little bit. Don't say to me anymore. I prefer not to receive any sets because my legs are getting heavy. I can't jump anymore. But the guy is strong on the fifth game. Give it to me. From anywhere. Because he's jumping. He's not worried about anything. He's jumping. When he jumps this much, it hits. There's so much close relationship between our condition and brain. When my condition is good, my brain is ordering very good. Go for it. But when my condition is decreasing, I get a little bit scared, nervous. I try to stay in wrestling. I try not to try attacking anybody. Try to kill the time. Okay, this is the first part. For energy system, 3 energy system, 1, 2, 3. The third one is aerobic. The first one is phosphagen. Second one, glycolytic. Glycolytic means we're using carbohydrate without oxygen. But the product is bad. Product is lactic acid. But we need in volleyball. When we going for the third block, fourth block, we need to use carbohydrate without oxygen. That's very good. But from what we studied, several big matches in the world, we came up that each game ends up with 40 rallies almost, 38, 40, 42. Of these 40 rallies, 80% of it is under 6 seconds. Very little is over 6 seconds. Very, very little is over 10 seconds. So the first, under 6 seconds, over 6 seconds, over 10 seconds is all anaerobic. But why we talk so much about aerobic? Because aerobic is very important for training anaerobic. And the fifth game, we need oxygen. We have to transport oxygen here. We get the oxygen from gymnasium, but we must transfer it here. So we need the heart, lung, capillaries, hemoglobin to go here. So this oxygen, so much oxygen is here, but I want it inside here. That's why we talk about so much about aerobic, while we see volleyball is anaerobic. Towel exercise. I discovered this when I was young. I was just, we didn't have a weight room, nothing, you know. I'm talking about 50 years ago, when I was 20 years old, 1945, no, 1966. And I was starting working with towel. We didn't have weight room. We didn't have weight conditioning coach. We didn't have knowledge. We didn't have PowerPoint. I didn't know Al skate, Sharky. Nothing. Playing volleyball on the streets, barefoot. No A6. And no net, a rope. And the ball, 2 pieces, one inside and outside, separate. I wish I had one to show you. And not round, like a tomato. The ball was like a tomato shape. All the fingers are broken. This is very important. For many years, I tried to make the Iranian coaches accept this, but they didn't take it. I have never worked with weight in my life. Never. When I learned to do this one, I'm doing this one every day morning, 5 o'clock, every day morning. That's all I do. I don't run. I just play volleyball twice a week, a little bit, with the old people. hitting some balls. Okay, we get a towel this size, easy. And we try to do it like this and keep it like this. And do this. This is, we start with youngsters. One of the biggest problem volleyball players have is a shoulder pain. This is good stretching, good strength training. It stretches all the ligaments, tendons, muscles for shoulder and around the shoulder. Very good. But since they are not used to it, when they're doing it, they say they have a hard time. They say, we don't do it. But when you're working with youngsters, you can start teaching them and learn. And very easy for youngsters. But the national team players, they cannot do it. It's hard for them. But it's very effective. We have 4 muscles here. They call it rotator cuff. Very important for here. Especially the big man hitters, the outside hitters, and the serving jump serve. Very important. Okay. And next one. We pull from both sides. Pull from both sides. It's good because it doesn't increase the mass of the muscles, but it provides a good stretching and good conditioning of muscles. So this is the second one. This. And then this is third one. When we do this one, we feel this is getting tired here. It's good. It's getting tired. And then this one. But the easiest one is the last one. This is called a towel exercise. It is very good. It is very good for the muscles around here, chest muscle, back muscle around here, and especially muscle around the shoulder girdle. The 4 very important muscle here. That holds this and support this. So many volleyball players I have seen, they have here a hole. Because that's very bad. Because they didn't practice, they didn't train very good. And during the years, there is a paralyzed muscle here. And goes deep. It's like a hole here. So this is very simple. and doesn't need anything. It doesn't need the weight room. It doesn't need anything. Just everybody have a towel. And perhaps the best is end of the practice, when they're warm enough, loosen. But if you apply them for the children and make them habit to do it every day, after a couple of months, it's something very easy for them, very easy. And we can make sure that they are not going to develop very much of a pain around here, because this one stretches the muscle, stretches the ligament and tendons, which are very, very important for hitting and the movement of the shoulder. So this one, and then pressing back, and then and then and if you try 1 week every day, you can feel the difference. Not hypertrophy. No, we don't need hypertrophy. We need good muscle and ready muscle, conditioned muscle. And the quickness of muscle, because this movement, it doesn't limit your quickness like weight. Chin up for volleyball, no, I don't like it at all. I wouldn't do it once because it's not very good for volleyball. We send our best volleyball player to Olympic Academy. They gave us a report. His condition was not very good. I said, why? They did chin-ups one. So that's all right. I don't want him to do the chin-ups on the court. I want him to serve. The man in Iran, the left-hander, I said the arms like this, but the serving like a hell. Qaimi. And few of the matches they won because of him. He even got on the service line, I start serving, crazy, Now, we get this man, take him to the weight room and give him weight. Push, this much. Muscle is not going to be very good. It's going to go slow. 1966, we have an Iranian player, very good body. Chin-ups, 50. 50 chin-ups, easy. But the balls like a slow motion. He could not hit. Too much muscle. Too much muscle. Very slow shoulder, very slow shoulder. You don't want that one. So this is I called towel exercise for just shoulder. And if you do it, and if you let the children do it, 2-3 months, you see the development of the muscles without so much of a hypertrophy, but the good muscles. So every day morning I get up at 5 o'clock. But nobody knows anything about me. What I do. Yeah, I do it before it gets light. Because some people tell me, what do you do? I say, I don't eat at all. I don't eat. But they don't know I get up in the morning and exercise a little bit. Have a rest.
How many repetitions in how many series?
So when we look at these numbers, we see all the energy system in all the big matches. The first game is right here. Under 6 seconds, over 6 seconds, over 10 seconds. Only one time, 29 seconds. In one match, first game, Iran versus China, first game, only one rally, 29 seconds. Only one rally, 22 seconds. Only one rally, 18 seconds. All the rallies right here. Anaerobic. But again, aerobic is very important for anaerobic. This is very accurate information. We had the film, and we look at back and forth with chronometer. Very accurate information. 40 rallies, 39 rallies, 48 rallies, 45 rallies. But all in these three. Okay, we go to something else for strength training. And my colleague Sajmon has something from, after I finish, maybe 20 minutes, Sajmon has something from conditioning, about conditioning from Bulgarian style. The best thing is we look at the styles of different countries, what they are doing, you know. Some of them very sophisticated. I saw some from Italian national team, very sophisticated in swimming pool, outside, weight room. Sometimes we cannot do all those things, you know. That's okay, you know. Sometimes we see something like can be done with one towel, you know. That's all I can do. That's all I can have. I don't have a weight room. I don't have a swimming pool, but I want to work. Something good for volleyball. What should I do? I take a towel. There's a guy from Iran showed me something with towel, it works. That's all. But if you have a sophisticated machine and weight rooms, that's okay. But many places, many times we don't have access to sophisticated machines. We don't have an Olympic academy that we take a VO2 max. But the VO2 max, easiest, 12 minutes running Cooper. That's all. If you have an athlete running 12 minutes, 3,000 meters, that's very good. You don't have a best treadmill in the world, you know. I'll show you something. About strength training. We want to see what muscles are good for volleyball. What muscles are what are the muscles that are used in volleyball? I made the PowerPoint. Kinesiological analysis. You know the kinesiology, movement. Analysis of volleyball, a spike. Why a spike? Because anybody can do a good spike. That means he's got a very good body. If somebody doing very good spikes, is doing the spikes very well, that means his body is ready. He can do anything. Because a spike is very complicated and very tough skill. Because a spike needs here, a spike needs here, core. If anybody is spiking very good, that means his body is ready. That's what We call it the volleyball spike from the muscles aspect. What muscles? And presenting resistance training for strength development. First we see what muscles, and then we do the training. Okay. Spikes have several phases. This is the first phase of spiking. We call it approach. Don't take a picture, you take this. Okay, this is the first, this is the final step of approaching. Approaching means we are going for spiking. And we see the muscles here. Okay, muscles are here. Major muscles used in approach phase, or the muscles are here. These are their task of muscles: flexion, extension, abduction, adductions, hyperextension, whatever. Shoulder was involved. Hip was involved. Trunk was involved. Trunk, hip, shoulder. Almost all the muscles are involved. But remember, these are major muscles. We have muscles here. We have 600 muscles. We cannot study 600 muscles at the same time. You know, this is electromyographic. We just do the major muscle. If the major muscle is good, rest the muscle are good. Each finger gets several muscles. So many muscles around here. But we cannot study this muscle. We can do it, but there is no need for it. We're looking for major muscle. That's what's there. Major muscles. That's all right. We saw the muscles of shoulder that were involved. Hip and lower extremity. Hip and lower extremity. Hamstring, calf muscle, front quadriceps, and the trunk, the body. Okay. Beginning of the jumping phase. Now the person was to jump. We see the difference between this picture and the previous picture. The previous picture, there was some muscle around here. Here was less muscle. But we see the switching because the movement is different compared to the previous phase. Again, muscles of shoulder and their movement, flexion, hip and lower extremity muscle, again, right here for the second phase, and the trunk. So many variety of movement, so many muscles for different purposes because the action is different. Action is changing From the time we're going like this, and then we go, till we go up. Okay, now we got into the air. Cocking the hammer. Attack phase. We see more muscles getting involved here. Less muscle here because we already left the ground, you know. And then more muscles get involved here. Again, major muscle, not 600 muscles. We have 600 muscles, but we are looking at the major muscles. If the major muscles are good, rest of the muscles definitely are good. Because when you're practicing for this muscle, rest of the muscle must work. Okay, we see more muscles here as compared to the previous one. Less muscles here and less muscles here. Hip, 2 muscles. Trunk, shoulder, butt. More muscles here. Actions, very many actions. Rotation, extension, flexion, abduction, lateral rotation, flexion, abduction, flexion. That's because it's very hard. We have to find the ball. Different muscle, we do the different movement and different muscle get involved. The heat of the attack phase, more muscle here. We didn't have this picture, the first two. We have to going up, hitting like this, more muscle here. Many muscles around here. And less muscle here. Because the main action is up there. And you see so many more muscles here than compared to the previous slides. And the variety of actions, extension, 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 medial rotation, pronation, flexion, extension. Very hard, very hard. The recovery phase. Again, we are going to land. More muscles must be involved here because we are landing now. Here, less. So if we put these 5-6 pictures like this, we see some muscles here, and then more muscles up. That's true, that's natural. We are doing different things, different muscles. Because once we decide to spike the ball, from the time we think until the time we land, we're doing so many movements and so many different muscles involved. And less muscles here, more muscles here. We were landing. extension, extension, eccentric, that eccentric contraction is very hard. Trunk flexion, eccentric contraction is very hard. Is something that we don't use very often. Okay, this is, we will find one of the books, Resistance Training Exercises for Volleyball. And we see here, we don't have anything here, but we have all of them. We need all of them. Again, resistance training for volleyball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. More empty spaces here. These are the exercises. These are the exercises. So some of these exercises we don't want for volleyball because we saw we are not using those for spiking purposes. And then rest of this PowerPoint is the exercises. I don't want to take your time very much because we know all of these. The most important part of this one, this presentation, is those pictures. That kinesiological analysis. But these are routine every day we do see everywhere. We must know what muscles we use in volleyball. If we know that one, we don't have any problem anymore. Just remember, we do not want very much muscle for volleyball. We don't see any more volleyball player with heavy stuff. Italian, Serbian, American, Cuban even. They are slimy, but good muscle. But quick. The power, high power, speed. That's what we need. Good speed, good power. Good power is a product of strength and speed. But so much hypertrophy decreases the speed. So we don't need so much muscle for it. We don't find any more Russian, Argentinian, Iranian, Japanese. We need slimy, tall, well-conditioned. Well-conditioned means good muscle and good energy system. Well-conditioned people. And we're talking to him. Right time, right amount of exercise, and the right exercise is important. So we don't make a common mistakes. Too much exercise, no good. Not enough exercise is no good. Exercising, training until the last moment before the match is no good, because last moment of the before the match, we don't learn anything. We want to take an exam at a school, university. The best things, night before we sleep good. Ready the material before. So this study wanted to show what are the muscles involved in volleyball, in entire volleyball. But why spiking only? Because spiking is very complicated. When somebody is spiking good, that means he's ready. He's got the muscles ready. His body is ready. If somebody is spiking good, he can block good. He can dig good. He can move good. Because spiking is very complicated. Is the most complicated skill, most demanding skill. It needs so much energy and strength and power, to get up from the ground and hit the ball over 3 blocks. But we can do this for libero, but we don't need to do that. For setter, we don't need to do that. I just mentioned to someone, I know a setter in Iran, his hand and his brain is working excellent. When he's setting, he's looking the other team very good. His hand is beautiful. But he can good set. He's 20 pounds, 20 kilograms overweight. And he doesn't want to lose. Because he sets like this all the time. Because he can move. His hand perhaps is as good as Maruf. He's just looking at when his ball coming at him, he's just looking at the other team. Very good. And his overhand pass is beautiful. So soft. But he's 20 kilograms overweight. He can move. And he doesn't want to lose weight. No, even Velasco invited him. Even Velasco invited him because his hand is beautiful, and he's looking the team very good, and he keeps the block away. But unfortunately, if you are a setter and Velasco invite you, you must be very good, because nobody knew him in Iran, But Velasco saw his great hand, but he's heavy. His condition is not. He's bad, His condition is bad, physical condition. Okay. Everybody can have these. There is over there. We give it energy and strength. There is so much controversy around the conditioning with weight. I said, I don't know other countries, but in our country, unfortunately, if you invite 10 conditioning coaches, suddenly they get fight with each other, because nobody accepts anybody. I say the right. That's I'm saying the right one. But we must look more material, more information, more style, more program, and see what's the differences. Maybe somebody has some little bit key points that helps. My friend Sajmon has something from Bulgarian volleyball. I think it's worth it to look what they do in Bulgaria. You know, Bulgarians used to have a very strong team. They are good right now also, you know, but they used to be very good years back. When I was very young, you know, Poland and Bulgaria were very good.
Okay, pretty short video. There is not any volume, so you don't have to worry about it. I made a trip to Portugal and a coach there gave me this. The stuff Ibrahim talks about the different energy systems you'll see in this video is a lot of endurance and a lot of physical training going on. One thing that will be interesting to have your comment on after is if you think it is good or bad, and if it is good, why, and if not, why. So we can maybe have a discussion because this, like Ibrahim says, this is a good school of volleyball, a successful school of volleyball, and this is how they practice. So. This is a good one. Oh no.
Ovo je scena, volio da razumeš.
Okay, so you get the idea. It's very physical, lots of repetitions. But if you watch the technique, how good or bad is the technique when they make the action? It's a question.
If it's not perfect, they are a lot of times not the right position.
Okay, so it becomes physical training.
Because this is
It's just physical, but no technical. Okay, so the technique is very low and very poor, and the guys are all broken because they have to do thousands of reps very fast and very intense. So this is one way of doing things. Perhaps pre-season for some fitness, and when you're not worrying about technique. But for me, I don't think the players like the coach very much after 1 hour of this. So I want to contrast with the Brazilian national team. This next video is very quickly, again it's very short. So this is the Brazilian national team before 2008. They practice serve reception here. Okay, so you see here that the Brazilian team, they work on, thank you, they work on very specifics, so the serve reception and the setter training, and they get lots of quality reps, and there's a real function to what they practice. It's not just,
not so much movement.
no, but
Quality, yeah.
they okay, some tough serves from the boxes, but then they get to work game situation. The flow of the game is in game situation. It's not just run. It has some flow to what you do. Something I particularly like about the Brazilian model is that they try and do multi-ball. So like you see the setter, they pass a ball from the reception, and then the coach feeds another ball and they make, so it's always the next thing. There's another practice, we don't have to see it, where they make reception and then they have to make defense after this, and it goes. So again, two very different schools, probably in different phases of the season. Okay, so the Bulgarians, I say pre-season perhaps. This is preparation for tournament, but you can see the contrast and what they try and do. So this matches in very well for me with Ibrahim's presentation. You can see the different energy systems that are required, both psychologically and physically. So it gives hopefully some contrast. Any questions, any ideas, anything you like or dislike?
Can we see the other videos?
Oh.
If possible.
Okay. So okay, so this is the one I talk about. After they serve, they have to defend and then hit. After the pass, they defend the ball. So again, it's good game flow. Come on, defend the position. so good. Is this okay? Okay. Okay, so this is after the reception. Resende plays 3 balls, so one is good in system, one not so good, and then one out of system. Okay, and one more. I think this is the women's team. Yes. Okay, so so Ibrahim talks about the duration of the rally being very short, but with the rebound you can continue, so you can have the 5, 6, 7 blocks, attacks that Ibrahim talks. So all of a sudden the energy system that is required goes into a different type. Okay, so is it Ibrahim? Is it the glyphosate? The energy system, the middle one was glycemic or glycolytic. Okay, so we moved from the phosphogenic into the glycolytic. Yes. Yes. Okay, so we see a nice transfer. Okay. Thank you.
They take a break.
Yes.
Until 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock, be back.
Thank you. Thanks.